Hello, mate. It's me, Rusty the Sports Clown. Just kidding, I don't speak French. Check me out, it's gonna be so much fun. See ya.
Hey, welcome to the Steve Davis Show. Special guest today is Fred Holbert, Executive Director of the New Mexico Games. And Fred, 2017, it's just like we were here yesterday. It's a new year, new beginning, and let the games begin.
You know, it comes so fast. You think that, you know, you have a year break, but you don't really, because my games, bowling ends in November.
I saw that. I was going through the day.
Yeah, and Steve Mackey was at the opening ceremonies, and it's you know, and then I have pickleball. You know, it's crazy. They want to do it in September, and so I have things going from. I've already done two things. We've already done arm wrestling. We've already done badminton. It's the earliest we've ever done it. We did it before opening ceremonies.
That threw me off. Because I got the book at the deal, and we're gonna have some clips of the things coming up here pretty soon. But it kind of threw me off that it already had began. So.
Yeah, we never have done it this early. But it's the earliest we've ever done it, and so it was pretty successful. The one thing about the games you don't know about is like. Your numbers. My numbers for badminton were about the same as last year. My numbers for arm wrestling were probably about half as all. And I never know. I never know if I'm going to have 50 arm wrestlers or I'm going to have 100 arm wrestlers. And that's the same with a lot of my sports. You just don't know, because we try to date everything where it doesn't interfere with something else, but a lot of times that doesn't happen. There's just way too many things going on.
One thing we've done with this show and with you coming on and deal is that people think, and me included, for many years, I just thought the New Mexico Games was just basketball, and it was usually Labor Day weekend and
Memorial Day.
Memorial Day weekend, and boy, did you open my eyes up, man! It's quite an ordeal.
Well, I mean, you've run basketball tournaments. You know a lot of people. You've been around basketball your whole life, and I hear people complaining about, oh God, I just got done with a 40-team tournament, and he said, I'll never do that again. Oh my God, that was tough. And of course, ours has been like right around 235 for like 15 years. Last year was the first year that we only had 220, and when I say only, that's still a lot of teams.
Well, I know that and a lot of work and a lot of gyms and a lot of personnel behind it. But I know we had a first last year. Proview, you let us do the finals of the deal. This year we're going to do the finals, and that was a big hit. I mean, it was, and we're going to do more games this year.
Well, I know, like Hope. I know Coach Murphy. You know how successful he's been, and he was so elated. All his players thought it was so cool. So supposedly, you know, I let all these people know, and I'll let them all know again. But they all had their tape machines, their DVRs and stuff, and so after the game was over, they were all going to go somewhere and watch it and they told all the families, you know, the tape the game, and it does mean a lot to the kids to see themselves on TV. It means an awful lot.
Well, in those games, you know, the open division it was fun for me to see some of the former players come in from all over the, you know, just come in for this weekend just to play and compete, and that shows you how passionate people are about, just not about basketball, but all the sports you're doing.
Yeah. Well, it's with basketball, it's funny because I know everybody waits till the last minute, but the problem is that a lot of these kids are in college playing basketball and they haven't got out of school yet, and so they don't know if they're going to play for them or not going to play for them. And then you see one guy's name on one roster, another guy on another roster. Well, you can only play on one team, and so you know we tell everybody that, you know, go ahead and put down what you think, but then when your final roster comes out and you know when they come back, then you need to cross it out, that person's name or whatever.
I tell you, it's A lot of the games are at Johnson Gym, but there are also other gyms across the city, and you have to be a mastermind to figure out where to go play sometimes.
Well, I never, like myself, I don't even hardly see any games because I'm, Adrian Palacio, who's my right-hand person, and Alicia Velasquez helped me out over at Johnson Gym, so they take care of the 8 floors over there. I hardly go over there because I have to worry about the other 5 gyms. And so, because they need money, they need wristbands, we need to get volunteers, we need to bring somebody over at this school or that school or whatever. So I'm back and forth, I'm collecting money all the time because you don't want to have a lot of money laying around there at the schools and stuff, because we do charge. We had to charge about 5 years ago. Everybody charges for spectators now because we can't make it anymore with the cost of everything. We have to charge, and next year.
Well, the charge is minimum anyway, isn't it? Like
$5.
Yeah, that's what I'm
day.
saying. It's not like you're
not.
breaking the bank when you come in.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, the big problem we're going to have next year, and I need to talk to a lot of people about next year too. I really need help, and I just got done telling you that Johnson Gym is going to be unavailable next year. That is going to be a burger. I don't know. We've been using Johnson Gym ever since I've done it, and they're going to be under construction, and I don't even know. No one seems to know if it's going to be 1 year or maybe 2 years, and I can't imagine it being more than 1 year. They're going to start like after our games, because I know they do have other things going on later in the year that they aren't doing there anymore that they used to. I know they have an Indian tournament there in December, and that's been called off. He has to go to the high schools, and me.
How about volleyball? Is there going to be volleyball?
Well, volleyball. See, volleyball we have at Del Norte, and then we also use McKinley.
Right.
Yeah. So the only thing we use at Johnson Gym really is just basketball, and that's because of cost. The cost is a lot. With me being in partnership with the city and the New Mexico games being the state games, they let me off the hook a lot for something, but I still pay over $7,000 to be there for 3.5 days. Isn't that amazing? They're giving me a break.
Well, there's so many moving parts. They have security, and there's so many issues out there.
Yeah.
But that's just way the world is. It seems
well,
like.
It's just keeping the place clean mainly. It's just the maintenance crew. That's what I'm paying mostly. Because if you remember, you've been there. We have probably 1,500 people every hour on the hour that go through Johnson Gym. And so that means the bathrooms, the floors, everything they have there, it gets a mess. And they do a tremendous job. They do. Donald Solani, he's been the person I've gone to for probably 15 years. And his crew does a tremendous job. And they start from 7 in the morning all the way till 11 o'clock at night, the maintenance crew is.
Well, this is the 28th year of the Mexico games. 26 years that you've been
right. That I've been the executive director,
and it seems like you've just kind of inherited the job.
I did. They told me. I think you were there at the open ceremonies when I was trying to find Roger Knight, and the thing is, that's the one thing. Another thing too, our board, we're all getting so old. Roger Knight's one of the founders, he's one of the original board members, and he worked for Parks and Rec, and he's the one that asked me I take it over after the first 2 years. It really you probably don't even remember this because I know most people don't, but in the paper they wrote a lot of bad stuff about the games. The board was arguing with the executive directors and stuff. It just didn't work, and we owed money, and so it just kind of was going under, and Roger asked if I'd take it on, and I told him, well, I work for you with the city if it's okay for the city, and the city does allow you, if you let them know to work another job, although I wasn't even getting paid the first 4 or 5 years, and then I got paid minimum amount, and I still don't get paid a whole lot really because we can't afford it. But the games, what's so cool about the games that Steve is, we're multi-sport events, and so we have 18, we've had as many as 23, 24 events, and what's cool is that every event is different. Like you'll find some events will have 40 or 50, and then some will have 3, 4, 5, 600 people, and so you have to work around your commissioners and your board members have to help, and all your volunteers and all that. And with all the sports we have, I just love sports, you know that. And it's really neat that these commissioners are taking so much interest in promoting their sport. And that's what I've told everybody. If you promote your sport, we're going to have a successful sport. If you wait till the last minute, we won't.
Well, that's almost with anything, but that also goes with, like you said, the board members, they work very hard, and all the volunteers. And real quickly, volunteers is something that you always, you can't get that many people. I can't get enough of those many people.
I can't. I tell you what I do a lot of times too is we try to help. A lot of people don't know all the schools that we help. We go to a lot of the schools and get, say, like a basketball team to come help us, or at a school, or maybe at an event. And then what I'll do is I'll donate money to their booster club to help them out, because the booster clubs nowadays, they don't get anything now. It's a lot harder for these basketball teams and all these booster clubs of all the different sports anymore. So I help out I help out probably 6 or 8 different schools by giving them some money to help us out. So.
Well, that's almost a subject in itself. With something that you and I both don't like is that the mid-school sports are they're looking about cutting and trying to revamp it to where we can still have them. But I know that you and I, sports is part of our life and culture, that we don't want to see these kids not having facilities and not been having coaching and refereeing and representing New Mexico at its best.
Yeah, well, I was happy to hear that at least for this next year, and I know that now we have time. What happened is APS, I think they just didn't think fast enough, and they just let everybody know, like, boom, and it just shocked everybody. But I think the community knew how important it was, and we have so much crime and so many things in this city right now. We can't afford to have these kids not doing something, and it's so important. And I know, like, our commissioner for volleyball, he's new, and he went to McKinley Middle School to talk to the principal and the school, and he wants to promote volleyball, in the middle schools, and because they play middle school volleyball, and they play middle school basketball, and they play track and field too. So those coaches were kind of upset, because that's these kids that are supporting their programs when they go to high school, and it also keeps these kids out of trouble. And we just need this healthy lifestyle. That's what the games is about too. We have people as old as, like, I had a gentleman call me yesterday. He's 80 years old. That he's been out of sports for about 10 years and heard about the New Mexico games and how our track and field. We take kids from 5 years old to adults to Coach Hackett. I think I maybe mentioned that last time. You remember Coach Hackett.
Yes,
and
I do.
He was the oldest person ever to be in the games that I know of. He was 90 years old, and he passed away that same year walking across the street over in Phoenix, Arizona. But he threw the discus in the shot put. I think it was a discus in the shot. And I know it was a discus, but he was 90. So that's what's so cool about this, that a lot of old timers too are looking forward to this and track. They'd probably be sitting on their couch, they say, and this way it gives them a chance to stay fit and have fun. And then of course we'll talk about a little sooner. We'll talk about what we give everybody and all the things we have. And with the shirts, the medals, and everything. It's all special, and it's amazing how we've improved everything over the years.
Well, Fred, we're going to go to Dave and Buster's Top 10 Plays, and we're going to come back with the open ceremonies of the torch being done at the Bloom Fiesta Park.
Good. I haven't seen it, so this will be good. This will be fun.
All right.
Thanks, Steve.
And this one way up to right field. Very out here. At the wall. Cannot make the play. And it's a 2-1. And Little could have put this up to left field. And this one gone. It's a 3-run shot by Grant Little. to right field. This is deep. That gone. The solo shot for Orlando Garcia. Goldberg first, the line fires a fastball, and this is belted to left field, deep at the wall. Capella can't get there, and it's a two-run shot for Hunter Hargrove. This one smashed to right field, and it is gone. Three-run bomb, absolutely hammered.
And Simpson scores. Bottom half. One squared to left. Montoya still coming on the dive, makes the play.
Nice play.
Put a star on that one out and left. Well in the center on the course. Still going back. And he makes a running catch in right center field. What a play by Tatum. Put a star on that one.
West Conference play. Runner's going to go here. This belted out to center field deep. I don't know. Luis Gonzalez all the way at the right. This is hammered to left field. Looking up is Grant Little, and it's gone. A two-run shot, a three-run shot. Excuse me, for Carl Stajahan. And it's 11-8. How about the 11th bomb this year for Carl Stajahan? On the fire, and this one is blasted deep to center. All the way back at the wall, and it's a solo shot for Jared Mang, straightaway center. He bombed that baby. And the furthest part of the ballpark, Tom.
Bosque Running Shop understands the value of doing more than selling a product. We educate runners on the importance of proper running, footwear, and form. Analyzing foot stride, length of stride, arm and hip movements are essential for the right fit. Bosque Running Shop offers running clinics, injury prevention, and self-defense classes, along with a 15% discount for high school athletes. For the best in running and walking shoes, apparel, accessories, and customer service, visit us at www.bosquerunningshop.com.
Porch coming up right here, and what a moment.
It's pretty cool, isn't it? Though it's I actually paid $400 in 1991. I had a guy. I said, "Make me a torch, make me a cauldron," and so he looked at some pictures and he made that for $400 for me.
It's probably worth a couple thousand or more now, right now. So. And you're going to get in the Special Olympics. You're going to get to use it. It's multi-purpose, so that's a good thing.
They did. They called me up and they want to use it this year for the Special Olympics. It's going to be here in Albuquerque.
You know, I know the Bloom Park city's been really helpful with what you've done over your 26 years and 28 years of this event. You had our coach here. We had Coach Weir. That was kind of a surprise to everybody. And if we can throw that up there, Coach Weir, and then that New Mexico Lobos' new head basketball coach.
Yeah, I had said at the opening ceremonies, I don't know if they're going to show it or not, but I had said that I met Coach Weir over at the softball game. He just come walking in, and I thought, well, God, I'm just going to invite myself, tell him to sit down with us. And so we sat down, and guy had a great talk. God, I really like this guy. I really do. So I just said, Brandon Mason, well, he's now at Vegas, and of course he was at State, and we had called Brandon and said, just put a word in, text him and say that we want to get a hold of him about maybe possibly being our speaker. So that's what I did. I explained what the games are about. I gave him a program. I gave him some information. I did an awful lot of stuff to kind of help him out. So when he got there, he knew a little bit about the games, and so it was really cool that he was there because, I mean, he's kind of a celebrity right now, just like last year. If you remember, Who do we have? He'd just been there a short time as Bradbury, and it was pretty special that we had Bradbury there. And the coaches, the University of New Mexico has been super. They've been really great helping me out, and the city. It's a joint thing. You guys and the city and APS and everybody that does this. This is not a money-making operation. We're doing it because there's 35
It's the
other
right
states.
thing to do.
Well, yeah. There's 35 states around the United States. There used to be more. There used to be over 40 that used to have state games. It started in New York, the Empire State Games, and they lost their funding. I think I mentioned this last year to you, but they lost. They got $1.5 million, Steve, every year to fund the Empire State Games, and so they were really big. They had 50,000 athletes, and then they get it down to regionals to 5,000. They gave everybody a sweatsuit. It was crazy. And then all of a sudden, about 5 years ago, when everything, the stock market went kerplunk and home sales and everything went so bad, they don't have the games anymore right now. They only have the winter games, but there's been Tennessee, Wyoming, Idaho, and Las Vegas. They've all lost their games because of funding. They haven't funded them. We never got state funding, and we never got city funding, and this is the first year that Counselor Winters and the city of Albuquerque have helped us out a little bit to help the games, and thank goodness they did, because we were down to nothing.
Well, let's go to that Coach Weir. Do we have Coach Weir, guys? We can put his little speech up there.
Thank you very much.
Here he is.
I'm honored to be here. This is obviously an amazing event. Anything that I think promotes healthy lifestyle, active living for not only our youth but all our community members, I think is a great initiative. So my hat's off to really all of you that these games have been going on for a very long time, but this is terrific just to kind of even remotely be a part of. I kind of thought a little bit about what to say, and there's a lot of different things I could think of. I grew up playing a lot of sports. When I played baseball, I played hockey, I played football, I played basketball, I played some tennis, I tried golf. I've done a lot of different things over my time. And I was born and raised in Toronto, Canada. And 14 years ago, I decided I wanted to be a college basketball coach. And if you're from Canada at that time, it's really not, it wasn't really an intelligent professional avenue, I guess you could say. It wasn't good business, and everyone thought I was crazy, and everyone told me I was crazy for trying to move to the U.S. to be a college basketball coach. And I came down, and obviously 14 years later, I'm standing here today. And a lot of people always ask me, how did you do it? What did you do? And I don't really have a magic bullet, but I can honestly tell you, and I share this with a lot of people that I know, that the things I learned playing sports growing up ended up serving me exceptionally well in life, not only just as a professional, but even now as a father and a husband. I think sports just brings so many people together. It teaches you values like hard work, commitment, unselfishness, teamwork. There's so many great values that come together when we play sports. And if I didn't learn those as a young man, I would not be standing here today as an adult in the position that I'm in. So initiatives like this are terrific. They're terrific not only for us, but obviously our youth. I have a little 2-year-old, and these are the kinds of things that I obviously would like him to be around as he grows up, just as we hopefully kind of all better ourselves and the people around us. So thank you all so much for having me. This is a great event. I'm not allowed to come to basketball, I don't think, for NCAA rules, but I will come to some other things and try and be a part of this in any way that I can. So thank you very much for having me, and have a great event. Thank you.
That they've been fired.
Well, I'll tell you, that we have Mr. Ware on there, Paul Ware, and, a great, like me and you've just discussed, he's, the new head basketball coach at the Lobo men's basketball, and you can't help but not like the guy. He's very personable, very, seems to be
very smart,
intelligent.
Yeah.
He got, he's working
Three
with his doctor,
masters,
three
working on
masters
a
on his doctor,
doctorate,
and he's going to be a graduate of Mexico State. That's
Yeah.
really going to go well,
Yeah.
Be
Right.
a doctor from Mexico State
Yeah.
and be the head coach at Lobo.
yeah.
That's something he's never going to live down.
Of course, he's going to have his master's from UNM.
Right.
He'll be at UNM. Yeah. So, no, it does show you. There's not many coaches like that would do something like that and have the time to do that. and then he's married, and I think doesn't he have like a 2-year-old, he said. So he's a very, very busy individual.
And it's funny, he's on a time schedule and doing everything. I mean,
He's got everything down.
The social media, he's done it. But you know what? He's got to be recruiting, and that, all that stuff's good and dandy. But he really needs to be his focus is, and which he is. He's got his basketball camp coming up. Good things are happening there, and it's all good. But talking about city councilors, Brad Winters help. We're going to bring up Brad Winters right now and let him have his speech that he talked about.
He's a big
really
supporter.
A great event, and we've been doing it. Fred's been doing it a long time in conjunction with Parks and Rec, and it's something that we really believe benefits the economic impact of Albuquerque, but we also believe it's just good for our citizens and our residents and the active lifestyle. So I'm very, very proud to be a part of it, and I will be competing this year and look forward to that. I did turn into a new age group, and so I'm the young guy in an older age group, so I'm glad. So thanks everyone for being here, and look forward to it. Thank you.
Thanks, Brad.
Well, we talked a lot about Brad Winters. Brad Winters, big proponent of Proview Networks, or sports in general. Just forget, he's done an unbelievable job at APS, an unbelievable job at with the city being on the city council, and a guy that's his wisdom and his hard work has really helped a lot of athletes, and a lot of most of all the facilities built in the last 20 or 30 years has been a lot of his responsibility.
Well, what's cool about Brad too is Brad's probably been in at least 10 New Mexico games, pole vaulting in the games, and even Alan Armijo, when he was counselor, he was always coaching basketball teams, young basketball teams in the New Mexico games. So they know what it's like, and they know what it brings in, and they know like the 150 teams that come in from basketball. You can just imagine how much they spend here in Albuquerque. So, but with all the sports, a lot of times when you have sports, say like judo and karate, especially judo, I know we have like probably 100 people in judo, but probably 50 of them are from out of town. So, it doesn't sound like a lot, but when you have 50 people, they're bringing their families. They're usually 4 people to a family. So just think of what one family spends in a day just going places, eating and doing things and staying in a hotel.
The economic impact on the cities, and if I'm correct, over 6,000 athletes. Is that
we
correct?
Have 6. Yeah, we've had. Yeah, we're down some now. Dan Ballou. Do you remember Dan from the
Sure do.
Convention and Visitor Bureau? He's gone now, but he told me that he thought we probably have brought in probably $100 million to the economy, to the city, because we've been bringing in about $2 to $3 million every year since we've started. And so he's figuring that that's the numbers that we've probably brought in, maybe close to $100 million in the with the hotels, motels, and the economic value of people spending money when they come into town. So it's been a good thing, and the city, if the city wouldn't let me do this, while I'm doing my job, this would never happen either. So we got to thank them, and then, like I say, APS.
Well, it was neat for them to see the foresight of what this brings. I mean, it's like, like you said, it succeeded without state funding, so that speaks a lot for itself. Also speaks a lot for you and all the moving part, the social people. I mean, because you farm out each sport and let people take care of them. You're just kind of the overseer of all the sports. That's an easy way to say that.
Oh yeah, and then of course the sponsors. That's the hardest part. You know that. You have the same thing I do. You have to find sponsors, and I just think a lot of these sponsors have been with me for a number of years, and they've been so good. And even if they can only give you 1,000 or 2,000, if you get enough people to help you out that way, because without them, I wouldn't be around either. I couldn't do it. It's just you need so much help with everybody. The whole community has to help. They all have to help in doing the New Mexico games, and with all the sports that we have, that's another thing too. If anybody ever wants to add a sport, you can do that by just getting a hold of me, at 263-8513, and I can set you up.
Put that up on the board if we have that 263. What was it? 263.
263-8513. And all they have to do is give me a call, and we can help them out. Because I like to, I know we promote basketball, and I don't know how much time, Steve, we have, but I'd like to. Do I have time to maybe just?
We're going to come back. We're
Okay.
going to go to a break, and
Okay.
we got plenty of time to, to go through the whole thing
Good,
with it.
good.
So,
Yeah, I
so,
like to do that. I feel kind of bad. I don't give.
We got that up there. Now we can go to a break, and we'll come
Okay.
back, and we'll talk more about the New Mexico 2017 New Mexico games.
Okay, sounds good, Steve.
Bosque Running Shop understands the value of doing more than selling a product. We educate runners on the importance of proper running, footwear, and form. Analyzing foot stride, length of stride, arm and hip movements are essential for the right fit. Bosque Running Shop offers running clinics, injury prevention, and self-defense classes, along with a 15% discount for high school athletes. For the best in running and walking shoes, apparel, accessories, and customer service, visit us at www.bosquerunningshop.com.
Don't forget, every Proview Network sporting event is on sale at our DVD store. Go to www.proviewNetworks.com to buy your DVD today. Terry Cosper Insurance Agency is a proud partner with Proview Networks and a proud supporter of New Mexico high school athletics. Terry's been a local farmer's agent for over 20 years for auto, home, life, and business insurance. Just like high school sports are important, so are teen drivers. For more information, call Terry or one of his licensed staff members at 898-5556. Quotes are available for you.
Altitude Sports Grill is where Albuquerque's sports fans won't miss a game. With locally crafted brews on tap and refreshingly crisp cocktails. Located in Hotel Cascada, Albuquerque residents find a staycation worth staying for. Catching Lobo sports, enjoying a beer on the beach, or wiping out, Hotel Cascada is home to your urban adventure. Affordable guest rooms, no-hassle water park parties, and much more.
Visit the Frontier Restaurant. Due to heavy construction on Central, take lead or coal coming north or south. The Frontier Restaurant. Get your Frontier fix on.
I am never getting married. Never. Guaranteed.
You picked a beautiful ring.
Thank you. We're never having kids.
I love it here.
We are never moving to the suburbs.
We are never getting one of those. We're never having another kid.
I'm pregnant.
I'm never letting go.
For all the nevers in life, talk to State Farm agent Michelle Rudolph or Marty Size in Albuquerque.
Sure, you could get him a new car. You could also light a pile of money on fire. So maintaining this old car is your best option. Keep it running longer, stronger, with quality parts and a whole lot of Napa know-how.
Hey, welcome back to Steve Davis Show. We've got Fred Holbrook, Executive Director of the 2017 New Mexico Games. And Fred, you know, we always talk about basketball, but you have a whole magazine of, you know, and what a great thing this is. I mean, I was looking through it last week after going to the luncheon at the Balloon Park. It was very, very nice. The weather held up, and
yeah,
we had a good come out. But let's just talk about all the sports.
Well, yeah, I'd like to. Real quickly, well, I'll kind of go through everything, and you can get all this at NewMexicoGames.org. So if you want to go up and find out what sports we offer, but first of all, I'm going to go through here. I'll just go right through the thing and go through everything. Archery, we're going to do that at the Balloon Fiesta Park, and we'll use targets out there. We used to use 3D targets out at Sandia, but up in the mountains, which was really cool. But Gina Chavez has been my commissioner for a million years, really. And so anyway, we have archery out at the Balloon Fiesta, and then arm wrestling. I just told you that we did arm wrestling a couple weeks ago, so that's done. And badminton, I'm going to go by alphabetical order, and badminton's done too. And then baseball comes up, and what's cool about baseball is that it's more Legion baseball, but it's around the state. And I was going to kind of go to the go to it here, and it was it's a 1st through the 4th, and Tom Jury's been my commissioner, and I've known him from Little League. I coached Mile High Little League for years, and he coached, and his boy played there too, and our boys played together, and he has a great relationship with all the high school teams. So we have 24. We take the first 24 schools from the state, and about 12 of them are usually from out of the city, and about 12 are inside the city or around the city, you know, the surrounding area, like Belen, Las Lunas, or something like that. But it's been a very, you know, it's a 4-day event. And remember, we're talking about economy and stuff, how much money. They come and they're here Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So it's really, and I know Jim Johns just retired and was inducted into our Hall of Fame, actually, but he was a big backer of using his fields and putting teams into the New Mexico games every year. They were always, and they've always been in. And so anyway, that's baseball, and so that's going to be the 1st to the 4th, and then going down, it's of course basketball. That's we've already talked about that. So
well, let's talk. Well, we haven't really talked about deadlines. Let's get that deadline.
Yeah.
We got some teams. We got some.
Yeah.
We need to get.
Yeah.
We need to get.
Yeah, I'm not sure when this is airing. So, but the thing is that the deadline will probably pass. It's going to be Thursday. So today is the. God, what is today? I don't even know.
16th, isn't it?
It's the 16th, so that's Tuesday. So the 18th will be the last day in May that we're going to take entries for basketball. The deadline, the early bird deadline, was the 5th of May, and that's how much longer we keep doing this, because it's mostly financially the problem. They don't have money. They just don't have money right now. So that's the big culprit, really. But
and that's $260.
It's $230 for the early bird, and now it's $260. And we've worked with people like they can call me. I'll meet them. I mean, that's a lot of people don't do that. You have to do it all online, but I don't. I literally will go and meet them, give them the entry form, and do that. So so then the next thing though will be in alphabetical order. We're not doing by date, but in alphabetical order, it's the BMX. And you know, the BMX has been really nice. Liz Fernandez has been our commissioner for about 6 or 7 years now, and they do it all. I mean, I don't hardly have to do anything. We just give out the shirts, we give out the medals, we take lots of pictures, we do a lot that way. But they, we usually have between 75 and 100 kids. And not just kids too; it's adults.
I was going to say adults a lot. That's a big race. So.
Yeah, no, we'll have adults too. So that's always been a great thing. And then bocce, Trevor Lomadowski. I don't know if
let's go back to bike race. That's that's on July 7th.
Yeah,
so
that's on July 7th. Yeah, and like I said, we're not going in order, but I'm going by alphabetical order of the sports, and so that's the 7th. And then we have bocce. And that's June 17th, and that's at North Domingo Baca. That's a new park, and I know Brad had a lot.
I was going to say Brad Winters had a lot to do with that park, and he had something that he wants to do before he retires and does. He would like to see that be.
He lives up that way too, yeah.
Right.
But I mean, he's got the new courts. I worked with him on the courts before I retired. He's got beautiful courts up there. He put the racquetball courts up there. He put the bocce courts. He helped me on that. He wasn't going to do it at first, and I kind of convinced him that, you know, you wouldn't believe these older people, they can't run and they can't do a lot of things, but they can play bocce. And you go up there, and almost every day, I walk up there a lot, and I'll see seniors up there playing. It's not just seniors, really. Trevor Lomadowski, he's got actually bocce courts in his backyard. He played football, I think, at Arizona, in Tucson. He played football, and so he's a big bocce person, and so it's not a big event. We'll have 30 to 40 people playing in bocce, but it's still another feature that we have. And then this is when it goes on late, but it's the next thing in alphabetical order. And I tell you what, Steve Mackey is the only one really that had offered. I tried a lot of different bowling establishments, and I was hoping to get all of them involved, but a lot of them didn't really want to. And Steve's been my commissioner for probably, I bet you, 10 years now. And what he likes about this too, and we haven't mentioned this, and I'll just bring it in now, we do have national competition every 2 years. and I've already have some bowlers. I can't believe it. They're going to
So
Madison.
they're already signing up.
They've already signed up to go to it, and I was trying to think of. I'm going to just real quickly look through this thing. I always forget. With where it's going to be, and I know we put a big thing in here. It's going to be in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Now, you tell me, people are paying money to go back to compete in nationals at Grand Rapids, Michigan. That's a long ways. That's going to cost them some money, but you know what? That bowlers do that. He has a lot of bowlers that will do that. They want to go to the nationals, and so that's an added feature that we've had for a number of years, probably 20 years now, that they've had national competition. And if you look in the book, Steve, it started out, the first national competition was in St. Louis in 1999, and then it went to Hartford, Connecticut, Colorado Springs, San Diego, Hershey, Pennsylvania, Lincoln, Nebraska, and now Grand Rapids, Michigan. So it's moved around throughout the United States. So it really becomes a special thing for people to go to the nationals. We won't have that many people, but we usually have a lot. So then we go to judo and karate, and this year will be the first time, really. We call it a martial arts festival, but we had some date changes, and in fact, the book is actually wrong. I hate to say that, but it is. That's why people need to get on the website and look at the website. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the date when we start passing these books out anymore, because I had to move judo to the 24th of June, and we have that up now on the board, the 24th. And the reason why is Howard Higgins has been our commissioner for a number of years, and they have a big regional competition the same date as the 17th. That's not always on that date, because that's the date that we picked, but it is this year, and he'll lose half the participants if we do it on the 17th. So he moved it to the 24th, and then karate will do it by itself. Instead of having both of them at Sandia Prep, we'll have karate on the 17th of June.
Well, that actually, we'll talk about that later. That's actually might be a benefit to, instead of, last year, remember you had me, you called me, you came and had me come in and
was that
see,
crowded? Was that crazy?
Crazy. Well, it was amazing. I was like, I'm trying to, there was multiple matches going on everywhere, and you had to really understand what the procedure was.
Yeah,
but
really was.
So if you're breaking them up,
that could be a blessing.
It could be a blessing. Maybe that's something we keep doing in the future.
Yeah, it's possible. It's just a matter of Sandia Prep is agreeable to. I mean, we've never done that before. Yeah,
right.
Give me 2 weekends in a row. So, and then another, probably one of the top hottest sports in America now is pickleball, and that has a lot to do with seniors also, but we do have a lot of younger people also. But they built some new pickleball courts up by Monsanto Multicultural Center. A beautiful, I think it's 12 courts, but I'm not positive. But it's a beautiful pickleball facility, and they want to do it in September, so we do that outside, September 22nd through the 24th.
And in September, I don't think
still pretty nice.
All the way up till October. I mean, it's not. I mean, you can almost expect it to be in the 70s and no wind and great, just a great atmosphere.
The only problem we have a little bit. What happens during the fair? It rains.
Right.
And so we never know. We never know. But see, this is after the fair, just a little after, I think, because the fair's the first part of September. But
and it gets cold when the Bloom Fiesta starts.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But I mean, it's so funny when the fair comes, the rain comes. So, but that's another hot sport. Racquetball. Gary Mazeroff's been my commissioner ever since I've done it. He's
unbelievable athlete. I mean, he's still competing. I can just see him.
He does. Yeah. He does it all himself, really, because he knows how many things I have to do. That's why I rely on these commissioners. But Gary's been great. He promotes racquetball all over the country, really. I mean, everybody in the United States knows Gary Mazeroff, but that's on the 22nd through the 25th, and we've been doing it at Midtown Sports for quite a long time now. They've been really good to let us do it there. I don't know how much more time we have.
We have plenty. We're good. Just keep flowing.
I want to go to swimming, and swimming. We have a new commissioner, and of course, I'm hoping that Lori Onse agrees to do it. We did at the last minute. I found Lori Onse, and we've had different commissioners for swimming for years. It's a very technical thing, and you have to know a lot of people because of the running the computer and all the different things that you do in swimming. You need about probably 7 or 8 technical people, just like we're going to go to the track and field same way. And so I'm hoping when I get done with basketball that she will remain our commissioner, because if she doesn't, then we wouldn't have swimming, and it'd be a shame because, you know, we have usually 300 people, at least 300 people swimming in the New Mexico Games. I really look forward to it. That's going to be at the West Mesa Aquatic Center, which has really helped us because we've always had to go different places. We used the Academy for 2 years. I've used the YMCA. I've used the Hayden pool. I've used all these different pools around town. Now for the last 3 or 4 years, we've been able to use the indoor West Mesa Aquatic Center. It holds about 400 or 500 spectators, which fill up that place. It's just it's a very, very good event. It really is. It's a family event.
We're going to come back and we'll talk track and field, and we have some more time to even talk more about the 2017 New Mexico Games.
All right, thanks.
The Barley Room, proud sponsor of Proview Networks for over 9 years, is pleased to introduce Black Iron Catering. From weddings and family reunions to birthdays and office parties, Black Iron Catering is perfect for any event. Contact Jamie at 505-459-8259 and book your event today. Black Iron Catering. Let us bring our kitchen to you.
For 55 years, people have bought trucks from Tillery in Los Lunas. We have a great selection of vehicles, the quality service department, and some of the best deals in the state. But most importantly, we found people prefer to buy trucks from people who actually drive trucks.
Tillery is a proud supporter of Proview Sports Network. Locally owned and operated, located in Las Lunas, right off I-25, exit 203.
Bosque Running Shop understands the value of doing more than selling a product. We educate runners on the importance of proper running footwear and form. Analyzing foot stride, length of stride, arm and hip movements are essential for the right fit. Bosque Running Shop offers running clinics, injury prevention, and self-defense classes, along with a 15% discount for high school athletes. For the best in running and walking shoes, apparel, accessories, and customer service, visit us at www.bosquerunningshop.com.
Garden Shorts Team Sales is a proud supporter of Proview Sports Network.
Get into the game. Garden Schwartz Team Sales features fine products and apparel from Wilson, Schutz Sports, Speedline, and Russell Athletics. We offer custom embroidery and screen printing services for all of your school or club needs, from team uniforms to school leather jackets. Specializing in all sports and serving all communities, from big schools to small schools, from up north to down south, or all points in between. Garden Schwartz Team Sales. For great prices, friendly staff, and quality products, call Garden Schwartz Team Sales today at 1-800-880-7767. That's 1-800-880-7767. Since 1939, Garden Schwartz Team Sales is a proud supporter of New Mexico youth athletics.
Well, people don't realize how expensive track is.
It is, yeah.
Because you have so many things that need to be done for track.
Right. And the thing is with track, you know, you have to. We're going to use the fat machine. Last year we didn't. It's a timing system, and the only bad thing about the timing system is then that means that you can't come in at the last minute on that day and get into track and field. But we just decided that we're just not going to do it. You know, we're letting people know plenty of time, but But this is where I was talking about, like it says 8 and under is the age divisions, but you can always be younger and still run against 8-year-olds. I remember last year we had this little girl, 5 years old. It was very cute just watching her run. And but the thing is, we'll do that at Milne Stadium, and Dave Latham, he's on our board, and this is his second year of doing it. And he's I think he's assistant principal or something out in Rio Rancho. And so anyway, he's taking it on board one more time. He did it last year without the FAT system, and so now he's going to do it again this year. But it can be a really big event. And one thing that we're doing that the USA Track and Field asked us to do this year, because they have to do it, so they ask us to, we're going to serve as the Open and the Masters for the New Mexico USA Track and Field Championship. So we will do that for them, and so I think that's going to help us get a lot of older people into it. And then we have 2 new commissioners, and these guys are the gurus of volleyball I heard around town. I know everybody I know said, "Oh my gosh, it's Raleigh Zellers and Todd Hogan," and Todd Hogan plays in I think he plays like every night and every day and everything. He plays volleyball. He's retired, and then Raleigh is the same way. He's now the new coach at Del Norte for volleyball. He became the new coach now, and he was at Highland, and I think he was at the Mountain, the school, what's it called, Mountain?
East Mountain.
East Mountain, yeah, he was at East Mountain. But he is so pumped being at Del Norte. He's the one that went to McKinley to talk to the principal, and he knows he has to be careful what you can do and what you can't do with the kids, but he wants to do everything he can do to get these people pumped up so he can get volleyball to be a big sport at Del Norte. And these guys now want to go over to Del Norte. They want to use McKinley, and if it goes really well, they want to approach another coach next year. They want to get high school volleyball up to maybe 40 teams or more. This year, we're hoping to get, with the JV teams in the varsity, we're hoping to get 25 or 30 teams. And so that's new, as well as the adult. And when that is, that's the 16th, 17th of June. And then in July, they want to
We got a lot of events on June 16th and 17th.
We do.
Yeah, so
We do. Same with the 24th, Steve. And that's my problem. That's why I said I need 2 full-time people to help me out, and I don't have, because I can only be at one place at one time. And you're very right. That's good. You caught that, yeah. But on the in July, they want to do an adult one now. We're going to do adult volleyball on July 8th and 9th.
I know volleyball is huge. I mean,
it is.
I mean,
it's very popular.
It's a big sport. Coach Nelson is from the Lobos has really engaged the state of New Mexico across every high school, because he recruits volleyball players from the state of New Mexico.
He does. He does. A lot of our coaches. That's what's so nice about UNM. They do.
And also New Mexico State too. So,
yeah, they do. Yeah. So anyway, we're going to have adult volleyball indoors at Del Norte High School. This will be the first time indoors in about probably 15 years. And then let's see if I can get my next page here. And then we have sand volleyball. And Charlie Guest has been my commissioner, I think, from the start. I can't remember how long it's been, but he's got Charlie's place and Charlie's sandbox, and he's moved around a little bit, and so he's now off of Washington now. And
I was going to say they have moved a little bit.
Yeah, he's moved from a few different places. He's been there now. I think this is his second year now. But man, he's got a ton of teams. It's incredible, the sand volleyball, how many teams he has at his new place. But Charlie's always done a great job. He does it all himself. He does all the recruiting. He if you look here, we have co-ed 4s and we have co-eds, and then we have women's 6s, and then he might even. I tell him he can go ahead and do like doubles, 2s if he wants to later. We just didn't put it in the book, but he coordinates all that. So I don't worry about him. And then we have weightlifting, and I don't know if you know Joaquin Chavez, but Joaquin's second in command, I think. I don't know if I'm saying the right thing, but over at the weightlifting training center at UNM, Joaquin's been over there for a long time, and man, he loves these people in this weightlifting. And last year we had over 100 people, I think close to 100 people in weightlifting, and he expects the same this year, between 90 and 100 people. And it's gotten to be a big sport for us. It really has. People coming from all over the state. And so we're really expecting big numbers, and the date on that is soon. It's June 3rd and 4th, the same time, same weekend as baseball. Yeah, so it's and then our last thing is beach wrestling, and Rusty Davidson everywhere, probably around the world, probably knows Rusty, because Rusty's a big time official for wrestling, but he's also been our commissioner for wrestling, and we were much bigger before. We used to do wrestling indoors. I remember one time when we were at La Cueva, I almost got myself in trouble because we didn't have enough help, and we had over 200 wrestlers. And I mean, people were going all over the school. We couldn't control them all. There were so many between the spectators and everybody. But now we don't do that. We do a beach wrestling, and they do it at the 66 where they do the Lobo volleyball. They do it at the 66. Is it called bowling and 66 bowling and I forgot what it's called. It's on 4th Street, right by Sadie's.
Right.
And that's where the Lobos play volleyball at. And so anyway, we're going to do it there again. It's not real big, but Rusty loves to do it, and so I haven't. The parents love it. They do it in the sand. Isn't that amazing? I'm just wondering about what's a guy do that wears contacts and he's wrestling in the sand. Obviously, he can't wear his contacts. I don't think.
Well, you have to have a different mentality to play, so they're going to figure it out.
Yeah, but they have a great time. So that's all the different sports. I think I've let everybody know that's also on Memorial Day weekend during basketball. I've told him I don't really like him doing it that time, but he said, don't worry about it. I'll take care of it. Rusty's been doing it since I started in 1991, so I don't worry about Rusty.
Well, you know what? We're just going to move right on to the 2017 Female Athlete of the Year, Tyler Henderson and
Tyler Hernandez.
Hernandez.
Yeah, Hernandez. Yeah.
So let's give her. She got her little speech right here.
Okay.
I don't know what to say, to be honest. But yeah, like he said, I've been arm wrestling since I was 13 years old, and raced BMX since I was 7. And I've competed in the New Mexico Games basically every year since that in both those sports. But I just took, like he said, the record for the most female New Mexico State championships in arm wrestling. So, yeah, that's basically it. There you go.
Sure.
Now we're going to just move right on to the male 2000.
Thanks, Fred. So, first of all, Fred,
Is that
members
correct?
of the
Yeah,
board,
Dominic.
members of the media, Coach Weir, it's with great pleasure that I accept this award on behalf of New Mexico and the New Mexico Games. A little bit of my history. I've been playing in the New Mexico Games for about 25 years. It's always the highlight of my summer, and I really enjoy playing in it. I think it's an extension of forming good habits for life, and to me that's what sport and fitness is all about, is really forming these good habits. I myself got sick a couple of years ago. I was on death's door, ended up getting pancreatitis, spent about 2 months in the hospital, 1 month of that in a coma. I learned how to walk again through the support of my family, my wife, and the racquetball community. I remember at one point waking up in the hospital and didn't have any feeling in my arms and legs, and thinking if I could ever just swing a racket, I'd be grateful. And sure enough, I started from the bottom again, and I learned how to walk, and then I learned how to run. It was really back to the basics. Started swinging a racket. Probably the highlight of my racquetball career has been the last year and a half. I've really had great progress where I competed in national doubles with my brother, where we took the silver medal there. I've competed in the World Championships at an elite level. So I'm very happy that I had a racquetball throughout this time, because I think without it and having a strong heart and that kind of fitness, I probably wouldn't be here today. So I'm very appreciative of Commissioner Gary Mazeroff and the racquetball community and my family for being able to still be able to play and to participate in the New Mexico Games continuing on. It's always been the highlight of my summer. So thank you, Fred.
Well, Fred, we're coming to an end, and I want to thank you for coming on. And so many things are good for the 2017 New Mexico games, and it wouldn't happen without you. And thanks for coming on the Steve Davis Show.
Hey, Steve, thanks a lot. I very appreciate it. I'll be watching.
All right, well, then have a good one.
Okay, thanks, sir.
All right.